retirement. In the 15 years, so what would you say to Attorney Mazanec, is that
Yes.
what would you say to Attorney Mazanec would be, not just necessarily the biggest challenge that you would need to face, but what do you see as the biggest challenge right now that has actually changed in the 15 years, and what do you see as going to be the challenge for Attorney Mazanec?
Well, there's been a huge sea change. There's been time standards that have come about. We did away with the advent of de novo, where there were both in the civil and criminal aspects, where people had the right to a trial in the district court, a criminal trial in the district court, and if they weren't satisfied, if they were found guilty, they would have the right of appeal to a jury of 6. That's been done away with. There's one trial, and you choose right in the first instance whether you have a jury of 6 or a civil trial, or a trial before a judge alone. That now has come about in the civil arena as well. So that's been a huge sea change, but that goes back to probably 1994. I guess there's always a question. We always hear about civility in the courtroom, that it's being an issue. I think it's not quite an issue in Franklin County as it is perhaps in some other places. At least that's what I hear, and in my experience it is so. But I think that what that leads to is that it really requires respectfulness on the part of a judge and to maintain that courtroom decorum. And I think Bill will do that.
And you've seen his temperament throughout these many years, and how
15 years on the bench, and Bill appeared before me numerous times, and both as a prosecutor and as a defense counsel.
did you find the time standards, which are more recent, do they impinge on your progress, do you
Yes.
feel greatly?
Yes.
How did you as a judge allow those to get in the way of your decisions or your
By avoidance. I think that when you look at in any particular case, I mean, it's good to have standards. I don't disagree that there should be standards, but there's got to be lots of wiggle room, and you've got to be able to give the case the justice that it requires. And the more complex a case is, obviously, the more it's going to require in terms of time and so forth. I think, in the converse of time standards, if a judge looks at a case and gives some opportunity to get the case settled, knowing with the knowledge that a judge has as to the probability that the case will settle, by giving that little extra time, you save time in the long run because you got justice done.
So did you do that?
I did that.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Councilor Green, any questions?
Thank you.
Judge, thank you for your many years of service.
Thank you.
I'd like to just recognize Representative Donald as a friend of Bill's here. Thank you for being endorsed today. It's really our first know what goes on in the courts and their experience in the past. Would you like to make any comments, sir? No?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very briefly, my experience with Bill Mazanec goes back to 1989 when he was a young prosecutor in the Orange District Court, and I had just been assigned as a narcotics officer in the Orange Police Department. And Bill was assigned to prosecute the cases I brought before the court and also reviewing the affidavits that I brought. Our relationship, both professionally and personally, has certainly evolved over the 20 years. And I would just like to say that as far as his integrity, his work, dedication to work, and his trustworthiness, certainly unparalleled.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Mr. Peace, please.
First Assistant District Attorney, Peace.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and the council. Thank you very, very much for your authority. I first met Bill at the District Attorney's Office. I'm First Assistant for District Attorney Elizabeth Schuyler. We started out as prosecutors together. Bill was in the office for approximately 5 years. He left to go into private practice. I stayed, and here we are. Bill did make a lot of progress while he was in the office. He moved from the from the time I had trials with him, which I'll touch on in a couple seconds, while he was maintaining that solo practice. He was also going out to Berkshire East to be with his children who were on a ski team, and he was coaching, and he would remark upon that when we would have some time between the business and court. Bill and I did not have a social life at the time together when we were in the Assoc. We kind of locked in different worlds. And for about 8 years, we didn't really see each other. And then in much in court once in a while, but not anything of any depth. So in 2002, we had a murder. And the defendant's name was William Cox. He was a mentally retarded individual and a very difficult defendant. And when I saw Bill at that time, I was so impressed by the person that he had become in terms of his knowledge of the law. When I knew him in the VA's office, he was always a good person, a solid person, with good values and great work ethic. But during the course of the pendency of that prosecution, which was 5 years, I looked at it last night and I said, whoa, because there were many hearings. The individual had an IQ of 54. He would swear in the courtroom, foul language, attack Bill as far as we had to suspend him. It was Judge Agostini for the most part. We had the patience of a saint, so that we would go sometimes in 1 hour increments to the various courts, superior courts. This man was like a rock, and I believe that judges, the baseline is fairness. That should be assumed. But this person is compassionate, but it goes beyond compassion into kindness, because William Cox was a very difficult individual. And Bill, while he has this person in his ear and he's trying to listen to the judge, and it's a very complex thing. It was a very difficult competency issue. There were motions on the suppression issues that had to do with competence. There was a lot of research that he had to do relative to mental retardation. I was so impressed by his knowledge of the law, by his ability to go and do the research that he had to do, and by the fact that he was so steadfast and so kind and so patient. And even Judge Agostini, who was a very patient individual, sometimes, can we do a little more? Bill would very respectfully indicate on some occasions, I need more time to talk to him. So that was really an opportunity for me to see Bill fairly frequently for that 5-year period, which was between 2002 and 2007. In August of 2004, we had another case. This was another unusual circumstance. 14-year-old defendant, another first-degree murder, a very vicious, the victim was a 17-year-old, and that particular individual, and I observed this in court, had parents who were very confrontational and sort of back and forth like a roller coaster. And once again, I observed Bill talking to those parents, demonstrating again compassion, understanding, patience, kindness,